How engaged are you in your practice? Is your practice driving you, or are you driving your practice? I can tell you that there's a big difference in how I go about my day now compared to how I went about it 5 years ago. And it's really exciting to get out of bed in the morning and come to a practice where I see the vision, the staff is excited, I'm excited, and the patients probably feel it as well. I probably didn't realize that the patients probably picked up on my negative attitude or disposition at that particular time. If you are how I was 5 years ago, I can give you some simple steps, kind of a game plan for being how I am now and being 100% excited and engaged in the practice. The first one is to commit to a higher standard. So you have a standard about your practice now, you can set a new standard for your practice because you're going to be more engaged in it and you're going to want it to take it to the next level. So commit yourself to a higher standard and then hold yourself accountable to that. So accountability would be the second one. You're going to commit to this standard. Who's going to hold you accountable? You're going to hold yourself accountable. You're going to have a staff person hold you accountable. You're going to hire a coach to hold you accountable. If you say you're going to do certain things, you want to follow through and do them so that you can reach your goals. Setting goals would be another big one. So you should have goals with your practice. So you want certain numbers, you want more new patients, you want more staff in your practice, you want another location. Set goals for yourself. And that's what I did once I got re-engaged in the business, and I'm checking them off now. And you'll be able to do the same thing if you set goals and then stick to them. Commit to training your staff. Commit to your staff kind of holding themselves to a higher standard. And it starts with you. You're the leader of the practice, you're the visionary of the practice. And if they see that you really want them to do better, they're going to want to do better for themselves. So, hold your staff to a higher standard as well and train them. Get them up to speed. If you ask your staff if they want to do certain things, most of the time they're going to say yes. Most of them want to go to the next level, but sometimes the leader doesn't allow the space for that to happen. Another one is knowing your strengths and weaknesses. There are certain things in the practice that you do really well, and you should stick to doing those things well. If you're not great at managing, don't manage. Put somebody else in charge of that. If you are great at, running the numbers and doing the marketing, do that. But have people in your practice that have some of the strengths that you don't have. And people that have weaknesses, you want to help them try to overcome those weaknesses or just put them in roles where they're going to be the strongest. Another important point is to model being engaged. If your staff sees that you're excited about the day, that you're holding yourself accountable, they're going to do the same thing. Again, you're the leader of this business and your staff is usually going to follow suit. We all know that most people are followers and there's very few leaders in the practice beside yourself. So if you're more engaged, your staff is definitely going to be more engaged. Keep a positive attitude. That's another really important one. And we hear about being more positive all the time. But certainly it's an important factor in a practice because we all know that there's going to be patients that are going to bring you down. There's going to be situations that are going to bring you down. Maybe it's a billing issue that will bring you down. If you're more positive and understand that there's going to be choppy waters and you can overcome them, your staff is going to understand that whenever there's rocky waters, they're going to be able to overcome them as well. Finally, and possibly the most important thing when it comes to being more engaged, is to develop and share your core values. Your core values are who you are and what you want your practice to be. If one of your values is having fun, show that, share that, have fun in the practice. Your patients will love that. They'll see a different side of you. You don't just want to be the stiff doctor that doesn't smile and doesn't have fun during the day. You're just a normal person. Other values might be integrity. If you're going to have integrity all the time. Whatever your values may be, if it's honesty, if it's loyalty, whatever they are, you want those to come out. That's your personality. That's showing your engagement in the practice. So if you aren't engaged in your practice and you're just kind of going through the day ho-hum and you want to get to that point, start with a couple of the ideas that I talked about. Just implement one or two of them, and then you'll see that things will change, and then you can implement a third and a fourth. Start with a vision, start with holding yourself accountable, start with just being more excited about the day. And once you see that a couple things can change your practice and your attitude changes, and then eventually you'll see that your staff's attitude will change, you'll get re-engaged in your business, you'll be excited about the day, and it can literally change your life. It changed my life, and if this information is something that can help change your life, then I feel like this 5 to 6 minutes of information about being re-engaged is time well spent.